afternoon, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and I should have said good evening because it's evening. But who the hell cares? Joining me, as always, my good buddy Digger Jim in the co-hosting seat. Jim, how you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing good. It's halfway through the week. We're almost done. Boom, let's get it, knock it out, and see what we can do for the weekend.
And of course, the best hands in the business coming on tonight to help promote the book he's a part of. We have Comic Journey. Nick, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. And I didn't come along. I brought the Kool-Aid Man. I brought Punchy. And because we're feeling a little artsy today, I brought Bob Ross for us as well.
There you go.
That's right. And guess what? You might get a special appearance from our friend Brandon.
if CJ lets him out of the basement.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see how good he is. Okay.
And of course, we got joining us for the first time on the channel. So really happy to have you, Mr. Tate Prime. How you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having us. This is really cool.
Now we will say hi to the chat real quick. And then we're just going to come back and we'll start getting into this and let you guys take a leadership role. I know it's going to be hard to get a word in with Nick talking all the time, but do your best.
Well, listen, Gary, can we do something? Because I'm feeling like a little bit anatomically incorrect over here. Do you mind swapping me with Tate?
There you go.
You know what? The shirts don't match. How about switching Tate with Jim?
Let's see. We can do that.
Oh, there you go.
You get Jim's J-Lo up there.
Yeah, the little fro thing going. That's my buzz cut. Leave it alone.
Now I'm feeling a little bit more correct. All right.
First in, Mr. Ruby G himself, one of the best people in our community. Good evening, Ruby G. Great to see you. Another legend in our community. It's not a live show unless he's there. Mr. James, Las Cruces 1971. Good evening, sir. Another great supporter in the community, Miss Christina Payne. Good evening, Christina. Great to see you. One of my all-time favorite people, Jerry the Jitterbug, who I just picked up a book I hope he doesn't have.
Wow.
But I give a chance. All right. Mr. Arcade Pop, good evening, sir. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. John Stout, good evening. Phil Aileen, how you doing tonight, sir? Mr. DVH, good evening. Now, as people are getting their notifications, I will keep giving them a tip of the hat. But right now, we're just going to take it right back to these guys. And I don't know which one of you wants to field the first question, but it's going to be, we got to start basic for people who don't know. So how did the shift start? Real basic, and then we'll get into some more complicated questions later.
Okay. You were pointing at me, so am I going to take this one?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So it's actually a really interesting way this all came about, and it is a great experiment when it comes to YouTube creation as well, because this entire concept and theme came together one late night on Insomniac Comic Book Theater. As we usually do on that channel, we come up with all these kind of crazy, like, hey, what if we do this? What if we do this? What if we do this? And we started to brainstorm and basically pass it back and forth our typical nonsense ideas at each other. And suddenly, we started to actually come up with something good. And we were talking amongst ourselves, Tate, myself, Brandon, and Matt Atkins as well. And we basically said, what if, I think it was Tate that actually said, what if we had a comic that instead of cover variants, because I hate cover variants, what if we had a comic that had inner variants?
Right.
What if you got a different comic every time, or something along those lines?
Yeah.
Anyway, we started to sit and think about, what if we had like people write the same story in different ways, and that basically developed into what we have. And through about 3 hours of live, unlike just like hashing things out, You ended the conversation by saying, "Hey, I think we're on to something." And then the following day, we literally started to crank it out and made it real. And it was a wonderful thing the way it came together. We all had aspirations of putting something together at one point or another, and we also wanted to create a platform where people that wanted to get their art out there, or writers that wanted to get an opportunity to write something, uh, have a platform that's a little bit easier to get through and less gates to crash through than Marvel, DC, Image, and the like. And I think we're accomplishing that along with putting our story and narrative out there. So there you go. That's
Now,
all.
you touched on something I already had a question for. Not a question, a statement more really. With the 4 different covers, right?
Mhm.
So we live in an age of variants. This is the 90s all over again. But the thing is, your variants, they aren't randoms. Each one ties directly to the inside of the book with a specific special reasoning for each. So that makes it unique in that way. It's not just a money grab variant like you see from the big 2 or even Dynamite or Image or anyone else. You know, all these pertain particularly to the artist that has done their section in the book.
I mean, absolutely. That was something that was extremely important. Everybody that's ever heard me talk on any platform knows how I feel about variants, and I hate the gimmicks. Making them shiny, making them chrome, making them this, making them that, whatever. Oh, look, this one has a shade of blue. This one has baby blue.
I love it.
This one has midnight blue. This one has a purple blue. No, I don't want those. I didn't want the same cover done 100 different times, and that really, like, that's a pet peeve of mine. That I feel that's, like you said, money grab. So when we decided what kind of cover we're going to do on this, we decided, first of all, there's 4 artists that are drawing in the book. Why not create one cover per artist? So each of us that are actually inside the book have a cover that we're putting out there, and whatever the public decides they like the most, that's the one they choose. Or if you want to get them all together, that's great too. But we didn't want and the other thing that was important to us is to tie the narrative of the book to the cover. We did not want to have a situation where the cover has nothing to do with the book.
Yeah, God, that would suck.
Right. You want that Silver Age, Bronze Age feel where you're seeing a piece of the story on the cover.
Right.
Exactly. We put cheaper out and put like some bubbly babe on the cover, and that would have sold. Trust me. Put a nice jiggly lady on there, and people love that.
Right.
But we didn't want it. We wanted to stick to the narrative. We wanted to make sure we were keeping this project and the level of seriousness where it belongs. And we're having a lot of fun with this, but we're also dead serious about putting our ideas out there in the most professional way.
Right.
And I think this is the only way we could possibly do it in the right format. Now, there is a 5th variant cover, which, I know, 5 covers. Holy shit, 5 covers. But this cover is blank. So it gives you, the 5th artist, the opportunity to draw your own cover on there and show us what you could come up with. So
that sounds like work to me. Why can't I just give it to one of you to do?
Now
you do have that option.
Now I want to ask. Well, Gary,
go ahead.
Might be asking this. I just wanted to make sure it's all one story, though.
Yes.
You're just taking a section of it.
Yeah, it's no one story. You take it from here.
It's all one story, and we each did for this one. We each did 6 pages.
Okay.
And it's the same 6 pages. So that was the only example we could come up with was the way that he shot the way that Sandman used to do they'd have a different artist, and then 3 pages later it would switch to a different
No.
It was similar, but we wanted to do where the same artist. So on page 3 of our thing is a battle page. So all of our page 3s read the same with different art.
So let me ask you. Well, I got you guys because I asked this question. in the last interview I did, and I really like this question, so I'm going to ask you guys, because you guys are a bunch of sketch cards, and while you're live and you're doing just regular sketch art, which is nothing wrong with. What was it like for both of you to tackle sequential art?
Yeah, I was gonna say, get that panel work.
Yeah,
I'll let Tate go first.
I'll say that Brandon, really good script writer, so that did help for sure. I don't know. I just kind of took it. I just kind of read that page, in the script. I read that page, and then I'd sit back for a few minutes and come up with how I wanted to lay it out. And so that it did read from panel to panel as opposed to just separate art pieces. It was, I don't know, it was actually a lot easier than I thought.
You like the structure of it.
Well, Tate, you're kind of not giving everybody a little bit of the background. So, like,
Okay.
the thing that a lot of people don't understand about both Tate and myself is we both have actually an education in the arts. We both actually got degrees in graphic design. I got computer graphics degree as well. So we do have a background and understanding of illustration, how to put together some stuff. I've done some advertising stuff in the past, mostly for my other businesses. So I had an idea of how to be able to tell a story from illustration narratives, and so did Tate. So from that end, we kind of were ready for that. It's not as if it was something that was a huge obstacle. Now, actually doing it under time restrictions and that kind of stuff, that's where it gets tricky. And doing it with no direction. Well, that's the thing that was also very tricky, because what we all did was we received a script for those pages from Brandon, and very limited direction.
And that was one of the questions I was getting ready to ask as well, because when we talked to Phil last week, that was one of the things that came up, is like, how much input did the writer have? Like, so Brandon didn't come and say, yeah, that's not the message I'm trying to convey here, or you hit it right on the head, CJ. This illustration says exactly what I wanted it to say.
Well, I think.
Well, here's the thing. Other than a couple of small tidbits, like this is the amount of panels that I think you should have there, and these are the words I want you to include in the page.
Yeah.
We had no idea what the characters are supposed to look like. We had no idea where the world is supposed to look like. We didn't have any idea whether the sexual orientation of the characters had. We didn't know if they were human or animal.
Right.
You understand? So, like, basically, we had a extreme blank slate. And when you look at all the pages and the directions we took individually on how we wanted to pursue it, you could tell where our minds went. They went in a completely different directions.
You were creating four different universes,
right? To have less direction, because the whole point of this is to have the artist interpretation of this story just from them.
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as the experiment itself is
because if you give direction, you're going to start having similarities you don't want in there. You're going to start taking away artistic decisions.
Yeah, but the story is the same.
But it is a lot harder than having like it's a lot easier to have like a general idea. Like, hey, it's a desert setting. It's a junkyard. It's a jungle. It's a urban setting in the streets. Like, at least you have that. We didn't even have that.
See, that just means that he wanted you to build 4 different universes then. In my opinion, that's what he's saying. This is TJ's, this is Tate's, and so forth. I mean, he gave you, if he doesn't give you a direction, then you're building your own universe of the shift. What it means to you.
And that was the narrative and the directive we wanted to take with the story.
Yeah, and we
completely a story from Brandon, or did you guys have some input as like a general what you wanted, or did you
no
with the writing and then took it?
We literally went to Brandon, write a story, 6 pages, whatever you want. Why 6 pages? Because there's 4 of us. We figured 6 pages each. makes 24 pages, which equal the size of like a regular size comic. The only difference is you're getting the same story 4 times over in different versions. So we wanted to make sure we gave enough a sample set from each person's vision, where you could kind of start piece things together and say, okay, this makes sense. I kind of like this direction, or I hate this direction. That gives everybody more than enough leeway to be able to really flesh their visions out. And
and we did. I have to buy all 4.
No, you don't. No.
You buy the cover.
You absolutely
Every
do.
book is the same. It's just 4 different covers.
Unless I am not understanding this correctly, and maybe I'm not because it's Tuesday and my brain's half empty, I still think you're building. I mean, he gave you the story, but if he didn't give you any real direction, your version of the story is going to be totally different from Tate's as far as the illustration goes.
Absolutely.
Then I need all 4.
Well,
all 4
in one book.
They're all in the same book.
Pages.
Yeah, okay. in the first book, it's somewhat Ashcan book. Okay. Is it 6 pages? In the second issue, it more likely be 4 issues that would be separate.
So, okay. All right. So thank you for clarifying that. Maybe I need to take my meds earlier.
So let me give everybody a full understanding, just in case there's any confusion on this. So whatever cover you get of the book, whatever artist version you get, you're going to get the same 24 pages that are included, plus some bonus stuff that's going to be put in every one. So everybody's going to get the same innards from the book. The cover is going to be different depending on what your style is. Gotcha. If you like my style, you like Tate's style, you like Matt's style, you like Ben's style, what doesn't matter. But each one of the covers do take same approach as what they did on the inside of the book. So it's up to you what you like the most.
Okay.
The next step after this is the story that we have, which is called Transmission, because Shift Project is the name of the project that we're working on. The name of the story itself is Transmission. So Transmission will go on to be its own series, depending on what kind of feedback and understanding we have from the general public, and along and at the same time, what availability that individual artist has. That artist will continue that story and go and finish a whole arc on their own.
Gotcha.
The next issue of the Shift Project will be, again, a different story with various artists drawing out another script, completely not connected to this one.
Can we have some digging in it?
Quite possibly.
The guy with the metal detector.
I will tell you something. On one of my pages, I had some digging going on.
All right, now, man, I'm excited.
There was some digging going on on one of the pages I put together.
Because Lisa asked a question I was going to get to. Is there anything that you can tell us about the story that you guys tackled?
Okay, Tate, do you want me to keep blabbering, or you want to?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you've got an idea on how to skirt that issue, for sure.
Okay, so. Obviously, we don't want to basically give everything away, but at the same time, we're looking at a situation of a very almost awakening kind of situation. Typical story where you see somebody awake, they're in a different state of mind, world, universe. You're not sure what's going on. There's a lot of stuff that we're digging into and opening up and creating a bunch of little Easter eggs for a mystery that's supposed to be built going forward on the ongoing series. You have a lot of elements of a dystopian type of future going on. There's a lot of fighting going on. A lot of fighting. Sci-fi, weirdness.
Flat fighting or real fighting?
Depending on whose version you get.
Okay. And some digging. Let's talk about that a little more.
So you said ongoing, gents, but is it ongoing with an ending in sight? Like, do you have a finite amount of issues, or do you think that you guys can just keep going with this concept?
Well, the Transmission series is really going to come down to how long that writer will continue wanting to write that arc. Once that arc is finished, it might be 3-4 issues. then we'll see how we'll continue. We
But
might.
in saying that, there like we haven't fully decided on it, but there are like the Shift project, the main book, will be the over, like the umbrella. So it'll be there are many other stories in many different universes that do connect, that connect to the overarching mystery. So that's kind of where my brain's at right now, because we don't know where it's going yet either.
Yeah, well, that's the reason. I'm purposely not being vague, but at the same time, I can't help but being vague because the truth is the story has been written only to a certain point at this point
Sure.
because we haven't decided which direction it's going to continue as far as the art is concerned, because that's going to make a big difference as far as how the writing is going to continue on it. If you get a chance later on, if you do pop up like the screen where the Kickstarter is and you see the variations of how the art is.
Well, we can do that now if you like. I have it set to share.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
I just didn't want to rush it.
Well, might as well, because since we're on the topic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that some also, like, and this might be, I don't know how to explain this. I don't know if it's even appropriate, but how do you come up with your number? Like, your pledge goal was 1,500. Where did that come from?
Okay, so in order to be able to print out a book and put out something, there's a certain amount of expenses that are included in there. There's a certain amount of loss that's included in there. Like, in other words, if we order a certain print run of a book, we're expecting some loss to come out of there because of shipping damages and that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
We don't know how many people at the end of the day will back it. So for us, it's almost impossible for us to put a predetermined amount of how many books we want to print out in there, because we're not taking the approach, okay, we're going to print out 10,000 books, whatever sells, and we're going to move on. We're going to keep it limited to how many books actually go through the Kickstarter. We're going to probably pad it on about 10-20% on top of that in order to cover any kind of expenses, plus some extra books that each individual artist is going to want to have in their hands for their own personal use. And we move forward from there. The number one thing is to create a proof of concept. Are we looking to make money on this project? That would be fantastic. It'd be wonderful if we could make a lot of money on this project. But more importantly, we're looking to create a proof of concept that's publicly seen. So in other words, if you have a project like this that is widely accepted, people are into it, it gets fully funded, you raise the, we got a Kickstarter loves us on this, which is really important. Kickstarter basically gave us their stamp of approval of projects they love.
Projects we love, yeah, they're featured. So that was really big. And
right down there in the lower left, you can see it. Project we love.
Yeah,
yes.
and that's great. I mean, you have 56 backers. You still have 22 days, and you're rolling along. I feel like I'm going to buy another book after we're done. I just don't feel like it's been enough.
Now you said. So here's the other thing I had a question about, right? Because you said you guys all wrote the same, you all drew the same 6 pages given to you from Brandon.
Correct.
But you said they're all interconnected, which would suggest that there's still something different about each of them that ties them all together. Besides the fact that they're based on the same 6-page story.
No, I think you misunderstood. What they were saying, the stories that will be following here, they're all going to be interconnected in some way.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure it was clarified.
The connection between all 4 of the versions is the script itself. So basically, the script itself is the connection, and basically you're just seeing where people's imaginations are going based on the same words.
Yeah, to me, this is like you had like 4 famous authors come together and all write Pride and Prejudice. So each author, like, all they had was like here's what we want. We want these, this guy, and that's it. And then from there, it's, the artist is on their own. Because we didn't compare any art until it was almost completely done. So
Now, because you guys are doing like an old school type of thing, you know what I'd love to see in your next one is that there's Marvel's starting to bring them back, but comment pages.
Oh yeah,
like the shift water cooler talk.
Right.
Where we have feedback pages. Like I love. I mean, I used to read every comment section back.
Oh yeah.
And there's something about comments that seems to fit this project because you're gonna have people writing into you guys about what artists they connected with the most and just what they thought was really cool about it. You're gonna get a lot of comments. I think.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That does. I always love that page as well.
Yeah, that's something that has been in the back of our minds, along with fan art pages as well.
Yeah.
So if people are into the concept and stuff, they make their own variations and make a cover for themselves instead of a picture, and it's cool. We'll put it, even if it's not cool, if it's stick figures, we'll put it as fan art up there in a future issue.
Well, I think we're even like it's in the talks anyways of doing if we get enough submissions, we may end up putting out some sort of art book at some point. That
we'll get more into that when we go if we go down to the bundles and talk about the creators bundle. But are you able to share that screen again, Gary?
Yes. I'm not sure what you mean by the market. You mean promoting Kickstarters? I don't do it often. I gotta really think that I'm giving something to my audience that's worthy of them having. So I've turned down a lot of Kickstarter projects, people that have reached out to me when I've read it and I haven't liked it at all. And it's really, I don't actively seek these out. That's more of a Katie's area of expertise, K-pop junkie. If you're really looking for all that kind of stuff, I dab in it here and there, but she is incredible at it. I just like to back things I think have some value to my audience. For as many as I've brought on here, there's a bunch more that I've said no to, and people have been mad at me for it. But I can't suggest something I don't think has some sort of inherent value to my audience. Otherwise, I feel like I'm being disingenuous.
There you go.
All right, so let's bring this back up.
Does that mean we're genuine?
It means Tate's genuine.
Well, Tate anyway. Yeah, I was going to say Tate anyway. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'll take it.
You're genuine by association, Nick.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. So where do you want me to go on this, Nick?
If you want to go down to the pages part, I mean, you could go through the covers if you want to talk about them. But just because we're talking about the story itself,
right, we'll skip down to it. And it's weird too because all four covers are so drastically different.
Oh yeah, big time.
All right. So here's a preview of the art.
Now, here's the thing: in order for us to determine where the story is going to go. When you're looking at these pictures and how the art was put all together and the overall feel, you see that's Ben's cover, Ben's page. This is all the same page, by the way. All the pages that you see here up and down are all of page 3. We purposely picked this fight sequence for the hell of it. You have that's Matt's page, followed by my page. And that's followed by Tate's page. So as you can tell, every single one artistically has a completely different look to it. But beyond that, there's an overall feel and stylization to the characters and the universe that's created. So in order to really flesh out and write a story that will continue in the right fashion, you kind of have to take into consideration which art style will continue with that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically almost like it's going to be like a public type of feel. Like if the public's digging one style over the other, and we overall feel like this is the right way for this book to continue, that's going to be the style that's going to do, and that artist could continue on with that arc. So to give you a proper context of where the story is going, we really have to determine which style will be the one.
Nice. And I like the different, it's cool seeing it differently from everyone. What I like is I like the page setup of each one. Each page setup is drastically different, but there's a style to each one that I like, from a simplistic 4-panel style to, different kind of an anarchy type style to it looks like a polished style, but they all definitely have their own feel. It's neat. And I was always a fan of people reinterpreting scripts because I've read one or two things like this before, and this is cool.
Have you seen something like this done before? Because
not done in the same book. This is new.
Oh, okay, because
I saw
we struggled to try to find something that was comparable.
Well, I mean, I've seen like the Conan the Barbarian issue 1 by Barry Windsor Smith. The script by Roy Thomas. That was reimagined again with John Buscema in like issue 227 or something of Savage Sword, where he took the same script and he did it with his art.
Understood. But that's a story that already existed, and they had something to work off of.
Correct.
Right.
And that's what I say. It's not like this. This is unique because you guys didn't have any direction other than what your minds drew out of the story that Brandon gave you.
Yeah, basically create and go hang yourselves. That's basically the direction they gave us.
Well, I definitely don't think you guys hung yourselves, because everything that I look at here is interesting in its own way. And
I'm very proud of the approach that everybody took. They are so distinctly different. I was afraid that people's minds were going to just go to the same way, and pleasantly surprised that we all really were thinking in a very different, wild way.
Now, do you want to talk about your stretch goals here a second?
And the mediums as well, by the way.
Oh,
how we actually drew them out were very different from each other as well. You have, traditional art. Like what I did was completely traditional. Tate, he went hybrid. And for the most part, he went traditional, cleaned it up on the computer. Ben went all digital on those pages. Matt, I think he went halfway as well, right? He went halfway digital, halfway.
He was mostly traditional, but he did the text, and I think probably like me, clean up little pencil marks here and there and stuff.
So not only do you get the different elements of stylization, but you get this different elements of actual putting the how mediums work differently.
Now, when did you guys all get to see each other's art for the first time in here?
After everybody was done. After everybody's pages were complete, they were unveiled by Brandon. Basically, we were sending them to Brandon. He was collecting them. Nobody else was allowed to see them or even talk to each other about them.
Right.
And I think that was about what did you guys say? Like beginning of September, CJ, maybe is when we. So about 3 months.
No, we cranked him out. I think it's somewhere in August.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in August. Ben is a freaking machine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God! Anybody who wants to hire somebody that's super, super fast and polished, Ben is a machine. He will crank out pages like nobody else. He is so fast.
One of the first meetings he came to, he goes, "Oh, I finished it." We were like, all of us are like, "Wait, we just started."
I was like, "What the hell, man?"
But he's actively been working in the medium professionally a while, though, right?
Right. I was gonna say, yeah. I mean,
he does tattoo work, so literally daily he's doing art.
sure.
Yeah, he's been. I think had a few other published books, and
He's done a good amount of professional art as well. But he is so fast. Listen, I know guys that have been in the business for 20, 30 years, and their hands are so lethargic. It might take them a month to do one page. So it's in the person as far as how quickly they move. This guy, I'm telling you, lightning speed. Like it impressed me so much how quickly he moves and how polished he is from the get go.
Now I have to ask you too, because we have an international audience. Do you have digital formats of this for people overseas, right, or other places in the world?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the Kickstarter there, yeah, we have a PDF which actually will get its own cover, digitally, obviously. But yes, and there and I think it's at $5 price point. So
Yep.
that was really important because we talked a lot of like we've got UK, Australian, Canadian enclaves, and stuff. So it was important to us to, even if they didn't want to pay the shipping, or they can still read it.
Right.
Right.
That's a big
Now, what
struggle
made you
dealing
guys
with
go
it.
with Kickstarter over something like, say, like what I did when I just published it on Amazon, and you could have both copies worldwide instantly? What made you go the Kickstarter route? Like, did one of you have experience with it and said this is where we should go? I know Brandon has some experience with it.
Brandon's had numerous books that he put through Kickstarter, and has done everything from a guerrilla marketing type of format of going really indie style, where he basically puts together the books and sells them individually as shows, and sometimes through his social media. And
For beeswax, quite a few
yeah,
people in the community are familiar with that. It's a great little book. So
correct. So we liked the element. We both, Tate and myself, are like huge Ashcan, not zine, Ashcan fans, as far as like putting together that old school underground look to it. Matt is definitely into that, and because Brandon had that Kickstarter knowledge of how to get himself going, we decided to go down that route, for not only for the fact that it kind of was a easy platform to get involved in, but it made sense going back to what I originally said as far as creating a proof of concept. It's a lot more visual and in people's faces as far as the public's concerned if you get a project that's openly funded on a Kickstarter and backed and endorsed, and you see all the commentary and all that stuff, than if it's on Amazon. Especially for a comic book.
Right.
It's a little different with novels and a little bit different with comic books, because comic books are something that you need to really create a proof of concept in order to continue a series on them. And the fact that we would like to be able to possibly talk to publishers down the line as far as trying to move with some of our future ideas that we're going to be putting in there.
Right.
We want to be able to show them, listen, we came in here with really no major backing as far as marketing is concerned. We did it all like guerrilla marketing kind of thing. I mean, I went to NYCC and I literally made an ash can of this book and handed it out to people over there. Like it was like 1980 all over again, kind of a thing.
So you say an ash can. So what was your ash can? And by the way, you still owe me one of those.
Yeah.
I'll
show you because I have a copy of one here.
All right, let's make you big.
It's okay, Gary. He still owes me one. So
yeah, the partners haven't even got one yet. So as you can see, we took the traditional approach of printing it on extremely shitty paper, aka the way they used to do it in the good old days.
Right.
Xerox days.
Fold it all together.
Kinko's day.
Kinko's days.
Like that kind of thing. So we printed it out. We put a narrative inside, basically giving you almost like a mission statement, kind of give you the creative team kind of a thing. Gave you a little bit of premise on what Transmission's all about in there, and gave you a sample set of what the art is going to look like. And on top of everything else, we included a blank page at the end. See what I even wrote? It's a blank page, just in case you don't understand that it's blank. I wrote it. So blank page, have somebody draw something. And actually, at the at New York Comic Con, I did randomly some of the people that got these from me, unless these like some people didn't realize that it was in there. they might have gotten one that has a remark or a drawing of something by me in there.
Huh?
So I thought that was a cool thing that you never see in comics anymore.
Right. It is.
You know, you see them on the you see them on the cover, you see the blank page on the cover. But how cool is it to be going through one of these things and all of a sudden be like, "Hey, somebody freaking drew it." So who the hell drew on my freaking comic? You know.
Well, I like the QR code on the back of it too.
Yeah, we decided to do that. I got chased by Reed Pop for using their Comic-Con logo, but that was good. That was part of the underground element. You know,
We were kind of hoping they'd kick him out.
Yeah, they didn't like the fact that I did that. I said it wasn't me. It was that guy. But
it was Tate. Damn it.
But this was our way of advertising for the Kickstarter itself, and I think as far as unconventional type of marketing, I think this was a success. So because they did get a lot of attention, a lot of people were talking about it, and a chronic Joe who's in the chat got a copy of this in person when I saw him.
Now, that feels like something that should be part of a stretch goal, you know, for that backers should get.
Well, my friend, it's funny you mentioned that. If you look at the stretch goal, there is something that's in there.
We'll look at it. So before we look at it, though, I don't want to forget this question because I've been wanting to ask this. One of the things I really like is trade dress and font. Who decided on the shift, the way it looks? Because I love the way your trade dress is on the shift.
That was Ben's design.
Yeah, I think that's a really great design. I loved it instantly.
Yeah. I think we all kind of fell in love with that as soon as you said it. What do you think?
And that's also something like when you see our covers on there, I think Ben's right now is the only one that has the trade dress on there. But all the books will end up having the trade dress on there.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, there's just one alteration we're doing right now because it is the shift, but the official name is the Shift Project.
Right.
So you see how it's project here. That's one alteration we're doing right now, just to make it like combine on everything that we're adding on. So
right on.
Now, where did you want me to go on here, Nick?
Well, you wanted to go over the stretch goals, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And we got mystery goals too. Ooh, it's a mystery.
Don't you like a mystery?
All right, so stretch goal 1. Here you go. I'll let you talk through them.
Okay, so the first one got unlocked without people even realizing it got unlocked because we got funded to $2,000 before I even started announcing these things. So everybody's going to get like a nice little custom bookmark with the Shift branding on it, design on there as well. $2,500. You're going to get. I know that people are going to be disappointed with this, but I got unvoted. Everybody voted against me on this. I had no choice. It was majority rules. I'm not happy about this.
Stickers.
But sticker people, enjoy.
Yes.
You're gonna get stickers. As soon as we get to a $2,500, which we're not very far away at this point, you're gonna see some stickers unleashed.
Now, I knew you were against this because you hate stickers.
I know.
I hate stickers. But the one thing I did win is I don't have to put a sticker of my face on there. It's going to be Shift branded stickers. So there you go. You try to get me to put my face on there.
We quickly voted him down. Like there needs to be stickers. Like
now, I do like the 3,500. I like cards when the cards are included with Kickstarter. I think getting a card is really cool.
So that's actually a really cool thing because we're going to be making a set of all the covers on actual cards with a very customized backgrounds and that kind of thing. And you'll get a random one that's going to be included. Once we hit every physical backer, we'll get a random card that's going to be included in there. And if for anybody that wants like a full set of them, we'll have it available for something like $4 or $5 or something like that. Like anybody that just wants to get all 4 of them.
That'll be an add-on.
Yeah, as an add-on, but everybody's guaranteed to get one, at least one card once we hit that goal. whatever extra ones you want, you'll be able to purchase them, because some people they are completionists. And I like the element of surprise. Like, which one did I get? Which one did I get?
Yeah.
You know,
So
I like
stretch
that.
forward. Looks like you got to get that C out of there. One official Kickstarter ash can. It says once official Kickstarter ash. Okay. Once reaching this goal, all right.
that's
So
my fault. I'm the editor.
5,000, everyone gets an ash can
Yes. No. Actually,
for a low additional cost of $5.
exactly. So basically, we're going to include an ash can on as an add-on for everybody on there. No extra shipping, no everything. Basically, at a cost for us.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a special customized ash can that's just for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it'll be different than the New York City one. So like anytime, like basically we're not doing second printings, and if we do a second printing, it will be different.
It
So
will
I'll
be
buy that
drastically
ash
different.
can, and then Nick will still owe me the New York Comic Con.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
So 7,500. We're getting into some big stretch goals here. Nice. And we need to mention 22 days to go. You guys are kicking butt over there.
So at $7,500, we're going to be throwing in a random art for people. We haven't decided if it's going to be. It's going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 pieces that are going to be randomly included, depending on how many backers we have on there, because we want to keep the chances of actually getting one pretty good for everybody.
But you want to keep it unique at the same time.
Exactly. So listen, if there's a freaking 1,000 backers, all right, I imagine we might as well increase the amount. So I don't think that's going to happen, but random pieces will go out there. Concept art will go on there. They could be on 6x9 or 9x12 sheets. It could be sketch cards. It could actually be concept designs of characters that we initially started working on that never made it into the book.
Right.
For example, there's a couple of characters that I started off in a completely different gender, which I kind of regret not using, because now that I look at them, they're kind of cool, and they'll probably be used in future stuff. You'll be able to get something like that for the first time and see that whole process. So I'm not actually really digging that. I think original art is something that the community and a lot of people are really getting more and more into as time goes on. And the opportunity to be able to get something like that just for backing, I think, is a really cool thing.
Nice.
We'll go scroll down here. These will to be revealed if those goals are hit. Got it.
Yeah. So if we hit 7,500, you're going to get that goal, and we're immediately going to tell you what the next goal is. Same thing goes on and on and on. So we're going to keep trying to keep that element surprise. Pictures will be added as soon as Kickstarter becomes more friendly to me. But keep your eye on our social medias because we will be dropping different pictures of some of the merch that's going to be part of the stretch goals.
Nice. Now this is important too, because we all care about quality shipping. So all your books are going to ship in Gemini mailers.
Correct.
Yeah, and I except unless you buy the retailer bundle.
Yeah,
so the retailer bundle will be because that's $20 So
yeah.
So that'll be we'll figure that shipping out. But it even then it'll be shipped very securely.
It'll still be priority.
Yes.
That you talk about a chunk of comics that are going to be sent out. It's impossible to put those in a Gemini mailer, but
right,
we're going to make sure that everything goes out there properly packed, and nobody's going to have any issues with damages.
That's what bubble wrap's for.
Heck yeah,
and cardboard.
Right.
Yeah, earlier when you asked about the budget, like what we were asking, that's definitely like shipping supplies are, they're not cheap. They're not free, so we had to put that in there.
Well,
no, I mean, actually,
too. Anyone that's going to back this project right now, the project's already hit its goal. You're guaranteed to get a book.
Yeah.
There's no chance that it's going to fall away now, right? They're guaranteed product.
No, the only way it can fall apart is everybody decides, hey, we're canceling our orders at the same time. Then we're screwed.
Right. Well, I mean, you're backing a sure thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barring that, we're hoping. I think we have it on there as May.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. We are ready to go. We have all the pages. We have everything together. There's only a few things that are left that we would have to add in the book that are not in the book currently, which are the sponsor pages that we have there, which we'll have together within a week after the Kickstarter is done, as long as everybody sends their stuff at appropriate time, and the back page, the back cover that's a sponsor page as well. So, realistically, if everybody's sponsored prior to that, that will be part of it, sends us their stuff ahead of time, we'll have it done by the end of the Kickstarter as well. So our plan is to get it into a printing process within a week after the Kickstarter.
Well, that was also one of the reasons why we pushed the kick, because we were thinking a little bit earlier Kickstarter, but we pushed it back because we wanted the book as complete as possible before launching. So,
and I like that approach to it, because you don't want to back something and hope that someone's going to be able to finish the work in a timely manner.
Right.
We wanted to leave only some editing and template format left. We want the actual all real work on the book to be complete. You call it 97% complete. That's where the book is.
Now,
we hate it when we see stuff like that. Oh, we're 60% of the book, but what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to get the book 2 years from now? No.
Right. Does it mean we have the script and no art, or some art and the script's not finished? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now, is there a cliffhanger ending to this, or is this a complete tale?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the only way this could end, with a cliffhanger at the end.
God, I hate it already. I hate cliffhangers.
No, well, I wanted to mention this too. What I think is cool about this book, the way it's set up, reminds me of the old black and white serials.
Well, that's true.
Now that you mention that, there is an element to that.
Right? There is. It has that kind of feel to it, which is really cool. At least to me, it is. But
I think there's a lot of Hey, Gene, I think there's a lot of unintentional, little things that happen because of our influence of when we grew up and stuff. And
serendipitous, though, at least.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Nice.
We wanted to take something old and make it new again, and I think we're accomplishing that.
Yeah, well, and I think the biggest thing you guys accomplish is something unique, because I don't think the way this is presented in the format it is, I don't think this has actually been done before. I've seen interpretations of the same story by different artists, but I've never seen the same story 4 different ways in a book with limited direction, where it's just artistic freedom telling the stories.
Well, I have to agree with you. That's the thing that we were racking our brains trying to figure out: is there anything like this? And the closest thing that we could find that relates to this is the old Choose Your Adventures kind of.
Yeah.
That was the closest thing, but that's not. That's a little different from what we're doing. When I was at New York Comic Con, one of the things I made a point of doing, of not only going in and talking about this project to possible people that might be interested in backing it down the line, and people from the community, but I wanted to go and talk to other artists and writers as well. So I went up and down Artist Alley, and I spoke to a lot of very prominent artists and writers, and they were all really, really digging this idea. And they were all racking their brains trying to figure out, does this exist? I've never seen this. Why didn't anybody think of this before?
Right.
Kind of thing.
Well, and here's the thing, right? For all those people out there who are always saying they're sick of the same old in comics and they want something new, this is where you can put your money where your words are, where your mouth is, and actually back something that's new and different. There's a group of people out there that are always saying they're looking for something new. Mm-hmm. This is your chance to back something new, something you haven't seen before.
Well, not only are you backing something new with this, you're also backing a potential opportunity for more and more writers and artists to be showcased in the future.
Right.
Because that is a big part of what we're doing. We're creating somewhat of an institution for people to be able to get themselves out there for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah. And and to me, it's the most exciting part of this. Like I'm so look forward to like our future and what kind of art we see, what kind of writing we see. It's going to be, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities to become involved with us. So if you want, so.
And the future, who knows where this is going to go as far as how many different directions. But what I will say, it is quite possible that you might see a future issue that might have none of the originals on there, or maybe one of the originals on there, and a whole new set of writers or artists that are involved with it. We basically want to make sure that we want to put something out there that's cool and different and makes people feel inspired. Like, how many great artists do you know? Like, they're phenomenal. Like, really, really phenomenal artists out there, and they are so shy. They're such introverts. They don't want to show their stuff. They're embarrassed to like put their stuff even on a post or something like that. And you look at that stuff and say, "Holy shit! Why aren't you doing anything now?"
Yeah, if I had that skill, I'd be showing everybody.
Well, you know what? Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that are very, very self-conscious about doing that. And some people have been denied in the past by the dark horses, by the images, by the Marvel, by the DC, and they got discouraged. They're like, well, they rejected me. They didn't even look at my stuff. They didn't even tell me, well, you know what? Here's your opportunity to be looked at, and we're going to try to do our best to put out as much as we can for everybody out there.
And have fun. Yeah, like we had a ton of fun with this. So that's like I think, yeah, it's gonna be fun to bring in other people, have them mesh with the group, and just and maybe we'll come up with something else new. Like,
and it's cool too, right? Because if one of you can't do an issue, you can have another artist get their chance for that issue. You can you guys can fade in and out as suits your lives too. So that's kind of a neat concept in itself.
Well, the thing is, we're all doing individual projects as well. So it's going to be impossible for every single one of us to be on every book at every given time. So we want to leave those openings up for other people to be able to shine and put themselves out there. And tell Tate, tell them I'm not such an asshole when we're working together, right? Just a little bit.
Way worse, you guys. Way worse.
Right. I mean, total diva, right?
Yeah. Oh God, man.
Well, listen. My shirt says I'm great, so I'm great.
No, in all seriousness, CJ is a great guy. He's a very, very good to work with. Like that. One thing I was very surprised with is we didn't really have any like group issues. Like we all work really, really well together.
Right.
And so it
made it even more fun, right?
1,000%. And just in supporting each other, because I haven't done art in over 20 years. So when I do, and we're all our worst critic, and so just the support of other people. No, I like what you're doing. It's important. It helps.
And as far as where we're going with this, honestly, the amount of craziness that goes on in this brain, I can't even explain. How many times have we gone on to the back streams where we're having like our brainstorming conferences and that kind of thing? And I'm like, this is what we're going to do next, guys. This is what we're going to do.
Every time.
Every time. Like we say, hey, guys, you know what I was thinking? We should do this.
But it was really cool because all of us had input and all of us and it was, everyone else took each other seriously and actually non-dismissive and stuff. And it just felt very natural. And I guess kind of the way we came up with it was natural. So it was it was
right. And
really, really
good for a project like this. You can't have one bad egg in the bunch or else
and it's a true collaborative project. We didn't want any divas involved. You mentioned those thing divas. We did not want anybody like that.
Well, we only have room for one diva, so
listen, I'm great. My shirt says so. And you're witnessing it.
Well, my shirt says I'm with stupid, so Which shirt is right,
Point
CJ?
up there.
Which shirt?
Too.
Mine has bold capital letters, so that counts.
Yeah,
more.
but Tate, DJ's mom made that shirt for him, so you
Yeah.
can't.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good.
No,
No,
but
but
all
guys,
joking aside, it was like a true collaborative project, and the thing that's great, like we all sink or swim with this. It's a true, like, as close as you could possibly get to what a co-op is. That's what this is as far as a comic book.
I think you guys are definitely swimming though. You've already super surpassed your goal, and you're just going to keep adding to it. So, I mean, first of all, congratulations on getting it fully funded, and you guys did it. You're going to have this collaborative project out in our hands. I can't wait to get my copy.
I can't wait to get them all out.
And for me, I'll speak for me, is like, I think a lot of comic book artists, even if they're not an artist, they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could make a comic. So to be 50 years old and to have my first comic coming out is really, really special.
Nice.
So, and so, yeah, it's never too late.
Yeah, you got to just put one copy in a frame and put it on the wall, Tate, for real.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then you guys need a signed copy with everyone's signatures on it for yourselves.
That will eventually circulate between ourselves. I think each one of the creators wants to have a copy like that for our own personal collection.
Right.
And you know, if things go well, the plan is eventually, like, some of us or all of us might end up being at Heroes Con or one of the future cons as well. And if we're able to all be there at the same time, we'll be able to do a lot of cool stuff involving the shift.
Excellent.
Right. And there's a lot of little comic festivals that happen around areas too. I mean, that's always a venue for you guys to hit too. The little comic fest where it's a cheap buy-in and you get to set up a table and promote yourselves.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's all down the line as far as what we're doing. I'm probably going to hit some New York local shows as well.
But don't forget, local comic shops will sometimes don't mind having creators in an event because it creates more traffic for them.
Well, it's funny that you mention that, because down by where Matt is, he got a commitment and a sponsorship we received from Nirvana Comics down in Tennessee. I got a verbal commitment from Silver Age Comics, which is a pretty known comic shop here in New York. Probably the oldest one that it still exists as far as carrying our book. So we got a few things going on with the shops as well. We're trying to get ourselves in as many places as humanly possible and be seen as many from as many eyes as possible as well. So
nice. Well,
yeah.
I think we about summed it up. That was great info. I'm glad I've already backed it. Jim's already backed it. But what we need to hear from you guys is your final pitch to whoever's seeing this for the first time. So both of you, just give yourselves one more quick sell to the audience that's watching.
All right. You want to go, CJ?
No, you go.
Okay. Final pitch. Yeah. Well, so this is this is a book that's it's very different than anything you've ever seen. Very much rooted in the underground comics of the 70s and 80s. There is one script. There are 4 artists that are each doing their own interpretation of the script, and really, really proud of it, and hope that you like it and you want to come along and support us in whatever way that may be. So,
And this is only the first step of more to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what's important.
All right, CJ.
Well, for everybody that's looking at this for the first time, or anybody that's been looking at it and listening to us, if you're looking for something fresh, something different, how we kind of touched that a little earlier, and you're looking to see how people's brains work in very different directions on the same type of premise, this is the perfect experiment. You'll be able to see how people operate on all different levels. You'll be able to understand a lot of the fundamentals of how some of this comic book illustration and writing is done, especially if you get the creators bundle that's involved with it, where you're going to get to see the script and you're going to get to see how we actually work and what we operated from. It is something that you're not only going to be supporting what we're doing right now on this individual project, but you're going to be supporting a lot of future creators going forward by giving it this first chance in the public.
Right. I think that's a good idea. I think, like I said, I think it's definitely original. I was sitting here racking my brain trying to think if there's anything close to it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it looks like when it comes out, and
And with the 5th cover coming out, if nothing else, if you guys don't get anyone else, if you don't do your own art on the 5th cover, that blank cover is something you could take to the cons and have the whole creative team sign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe draw something.
We've even talked about when we're together in a group that we can do like a cool little jam piece or something where each one of us does a part of it or something. Like there's some cool ideas with that for sure.
Maybe I'll draw Tate on there for you.
Hey,
Hey, you never know.
a beard and a beanie, man. That's all it'll be.
So once again, because we're on here promoting someone else, you will not hear what Jim and I have coming up, because tonight is about promoting the Shift project. So the link to the Kickstarter
I want to
is in the
hear.
description below.
I want to hear what you got coming up. So tell us what do you got coming up?
The show
Throw
is
his whole format off.
you can find out Thursday what I have coming up tonight.
Oh, what the hell?
Tonight, though, go click the Kickstarter link in the description below if you're interested in supporting 4 indie artists and an indie writer and help them get a passion project off the ground, which is already fully funded. But don't miss being a part of something special, something unique. And for all of you out there who say you want something different, now's your chance to give something different a try. All right, and it's an affordable buy-in to try something new. It's less than buying a couple variant covers for yourself at a new comic book day. So just go support these indie artists and writer, and look for more to come from them in the future. First of all, I'd like to thank, of course, my co-host, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Always a pleasure hanging out with you, buddy.
Heck yeah.
And then, of course, I want to thank CJ and Tate for coming on to promote their project. I really appreciate your time, guys.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate your time and thank you guys very, very, very much.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah.
And, of course,
Thank you, Jim.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Tate.
to our audience.
The power of thank you, people don't understand the power of thank you. Thank you is so important in life.
Bring back common courtesy.
Thank you.
When I get my book, I need CJ to be here personally to shake my hand and say thank you.
Right there.
You want me to remark thank you on there for you? I can do that.
Not at all. Can you imagine the handshake tour with CJ, where it's just videos of just his hands
Thank
shaking
you.
other people's hands?
Great. Thank you. That'd be awesome.
But thank you to the audience that was here tonight to support these guys. We appreciate all of you being here. And if you're watching this on the rewind, you support the project, or you just share the project out, even if you can't support it, if you just share it out. Thank you for anything you can do to help these creators get their book out there. We appreciate you guys. And as we like to end these things, we're going to say thank you. We appreciate you watching. And as always, keep it casual.